Well, welcome to Kate's Raptor Centre, everyone. My name is Shri. Hey guys, welcome. Got a really nice small crowd today, so I was just saying that we can make it a bit more relaxed. If you guys want to ask questions throughout, totally okay as well. So I was just saying, welcome to Kate's Raptor Centre, everyone. My name is Shri, and with me I have got Alby. And Alby is one of our youngest education ambassadors that we have here at the sanctuary. So he is a 1.5-year-old Eastern Barn Owl. Now, is anyone's first time being here today? Yeah, lots of nods. So where's everyone from?
We're from Ireland.
Oh, Ireland. Ah, very far away from home. You guys said you were from Perth,
Just
wasn't
Perth,
it?
yeah.
Bunbury. Oh, so even closer. Yeah, lovely. Well, welcome everyone. I'll give you guys a little bit of an introduction. So we're of course in the land of the Dundee saltwater people, and they've had an unbroken connection to this country for over 60,000 years. We respect their wisdom and knowledge of looking after this beautiful southwest corner of Western Australia, and you all are also playing your part for conservation today as well. And that's because when you walk through the doors and buy a ticket alone, all the proceeds made here all goes back into helping us rehabilitate all our birds of prey. So thanks guys for coming on down and supporting us today. So of course, first and foremost, we are a rehabilitation sanctuary, and what that means is we look after sick, injured and orphaned birds of prey, and that is done behind the scenes away from public view just over there. We also have a small treatment facility as well, where we do look after any that do come in sick or injured, and often they'll come from the vets as well. Now, moving on to the main star today, Alby here. So Alby is an Eastern Barn Owl, and your Eastern Barn Owls are the most common owl found all over the world. Oh, bless you, Alby. You'll find these guys in every single continent except Antarctica. A little bit too cold down there for there to live. And right here in Australia, your barn owls are going to be the second most common owl. The first is our Blue Book owl, and you guys will actually get to meet one after the show today. Now, there's a number of reasons why your barn owls are very, very popular. So a female Eastern barn owl will lay an average about 6 eggs in a single clutch, sometimes even up to 12. And when Alby here was born, and he was born here at the sanctuary, you can actually meet his parents along the walk in the barn owl enclosure. But when he was born and hatched out of that egg, it was actually the same size and colour of my thumb. So he was really, really, really small. Now, whatever you do after the show today, do not Google a baby owl or a baby Eastern Barn Owl, because they are very strange looking, not so cute. Because when Alby here hatched out of that egg, it was just this pink, wrinkly looking thing, a couple of white feathers on him, and just quietly between me and you guys, he had a face one might describe only a mother could love. But I think we can all agree Alby here has definitely grown into his good looks, and it only took him 8 short weeks for him to grow to his full adult size that you see today, which is really, really quick. And that's all your birds of prey. They all have to grow up really quickly and get out there surviving as soon as possible, because it can be quite a harsh world out there for them. Right here in Australia, about 15% of all your birds of prey actually live past their first birthday. And what that means, that 15% that do make it, is because everything on them is 100% perfect in every single way, and that's the only way that they'll be able to survive out there in the wild. Alby here, being a barn owl, he was born in the wild, would have had a life expectancy of about 4 years old. But because he was born here at Kate's Raptor Centre, essentially a life of privilege, all the mice he can gobble up, which is quite a few, he's actually going to be living into his 20s. So you can kind of see that really, really big gap, and that's just because we give him all the resources he needs, and there's also no competition for him either. Now, a little bit of a secret I will share with you guys today about Alby here. Me and my co-workers reckon it's very, very lucky he was born here at the sanctuary and not out there in the wild, because we reckon he has got no hunting abilities whatsoever. Alby here is quite terrified of crickets, if you can believe that. So don't quite know how to go out there surviving on his little lonesome self, we'll just say that. Now, our owls have some really incredible adaptations that make them great predators in their ecosystems. So if you guys have a little bit of a look at Alby here, you'll notice that he's got a beautiful love heart facial disc. And what that means is he's a part of what we call the Tyto family of owls. The other owl family we have here in Australia is called the Neenox family. They've got a bit more of a hawk-like structure to their face, and that would be your boobooks, your barking owls, and your powerful owls. So when you guys meet Billy after the show today, definitely have a look at that facial disc and see if you guys can notice any differences. Now, this facial disc plays a key role for your owls because it acts like a third ear or a satellite dish. Don't know if you guys noticed before, but Alby here looked like he was having a little bit of a dance on my glove. Don't know if you noticed, but he was sort of bobbing his head backwards and forwards like so. But when you guys notice Alby doing that, having that little bit of a dance, what he's doing is he's actively listening around and he's triangulating all the sound around him, and then all that sound is actually getting funneled through that facial disc, bounces off every single little individual feather. Yes, isn't that right, Alby? And then it bounces off into his ears. And even though we cannot see Alby's ears because they're obviously covered with all his feathers, he's definitely got ears on either side of his head, but they sit a little bit differently to ours. So they actually sit asymmetrically, and what that means is one of his ears sits a little bit higher than the other, one faces a little bit forward, and the other faces just a little bit backwards. And that's just so your Tyto owls can hear really clearly all around them. If Alby here was sitting about 8 meters high in a tall tree, and there was a mouse on the ground having a little bit of a scurry along, he would be able to detect location of that mouse down to the square centimetre. And that is just by using that incredible hearing that he has. And the reason for that is because when all that sound gets funneled through to that face, bounce off every single little feather that he has and bounce off into his ears, because his ears are just slightly offset, that sound reaches his ears about a millisecond apart, and that's why they can pinpoint where that sound is coming from. Now, a bit of a question for you guys. Have any of you guys ever heard of how our owls can fly silently at all? No. So I'm very skeptical that Alby is going to actually do a flight for us today. Apparently he wasn't very interested this morning either. Hey buddy. So I might try and do that flight a little bit later, but instead what I'm going to do is actually show you guys Alby's feathers. And what we'll be looking at is that really nice fraying on the sides of his feathers. Now what that fraying means is when your owls do take their flight, flap their wings down, all that wind and air passes through with ease, and it only creates little mini turbulence. Alby here, his wingspan is also really nice and long. It's also nice and soft on the under parts of his feathers, and that all helps to dampen sound when your owls take their flight, flap their wings down, and that's the reason we actually cannot hear them when they fly. Now if you compare Alby's feathers to maybe your magpies or your pigeons, don't know if any of you guys have ever been swooped by magpies in the past, you can definitely hear them before you see them. And the reason for that is because if we have a look at their feathers, and the reason we can actually hear them is because their feathers are actually really, really hard and really rigid. So when they flap their wings down, it creates lots and lots of turbulence, slices through the air, and that's why we can hear it. Alright, I'm going to quickly jump around and show you guys Alby's feathers and that really nice fraying. Feel free to take, oh, he's going to have a nice big stretch for us. Hey buddy. So Alby's a bit of a show off, but you can see that really nice long wingspan. And it also means when he does that nice big stretch, it means he's nice and comfortable on the glove, which is also a really good sign as well. It also might mean he's a little bit bored, which is always nice for my ego as well. But yeah, feel free to take as many photos as you like, guys, but you just can't touch Alby at all. Alright, you guys see that really nice frame on the sides just there of Alby?
They're almost like the shepherd.
And so I do move around a lot, so feel free if you want to video it like that. Now you guys see that really nice frame on the sides just there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Alby definitely knows where his good side is.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, maybe. So I just had a question, like, are they nocturnal? Your owls are definitely, well, Alby at least is nocturnal, and we know this because if you have a look at Alby's eyes, they're completely black, which means he's a nocturnal hunter. When you meet Philly, our blue book owl, his eyes are actually a bit more yellow, and that means he's actually coming out dusk and dawn time. And then when you have a look at our barking owls, their eyes are a lot brighter again, and that's because they're coming out during the day. Now, Alby here being nocturnal, of course, naturally in the wild, he'd probably be asleep right now or having a bit of a snooze. But the reason he's awake is because he's used to coming out during the daytime, being our education owl and being hand-raised by us as well. In saying that though, these guys can put half their brain to sleep, similar to dolphins. Quite often when I come out, and particularly in the afternoon, Alby he'll put actually a leg up and kind of go to sleep on my glove. So that's sort of a way that they kind of like get around if they come out during the day. But it's really hard to see Alby's pupils. But a really cool thing about your owl's eyes is that they can actually expand and contract those pupils on when they want. So if it's too bright outside, you can actually let not so much light coming into his eyes. So that's why it's not so bad off bringing him out during the daytime as well. But yeah, very common question I get, which is really good as well. I'll quickly jump back round. Now,
only reason I asked though, when you see documentaries, they always film them at night time.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, during the daytime, if you guys see your owls out during the day, definitely a red flag, particularly your barn owls. Might mean they're a bit sick or something's not quite right. But yeah, documentaries, that's the thing, that's the only way they'd be able to find your owls at night time. Absolutely. Now, this ability to silently fly, it's a very, very cool adaptation with your owls, because it does mean that these guys can sneak up on their prey completely undetected. And that really good hearing I was mentioning earlier, where you can detect the location of that sound down to the square centimetre. Because there's no sound there when these guys do take their flight and flap their wings down, it means these guys can really hone their listening skills in and know exactly where dinner is going to be. Now I'll see if Alby may have woken up a little bit for us, and he might do that flight for us. Alby. I think he's thinking absolutely not. I might try a little bit later, but I don't really have very much hope for Alby today, but that's okay. Now I also mentioned earlier your barn owls. They're a very popular owl all over the world. Just means that these guys have learnt to adapt in lots of different environments. And one of those environments is of course our urban environments. If you're lucky enough, you may even have a barn owl, similar to Alby here, living in your backyards. Now this might be a little bit of a tricky question, however, because we're such a small group, we'll just say it's a nice safe space. Because do any of you guys want to have a little bit of a guess what call your barn owls might make? Little hole. Any guess? Anyone brave in that? A hoot? That's a good guess. So the only owl that actually hoots in Australia is going to be your powerful owl. So these guys make a little bit of a different call.
Is it similar to a dove?
A dove.
Like,
That's a good, probably your baby. A lot of your babies probably have that, and particularly your barking owl babies sound like that.
yeah, I've heard that before, and I'm shining the torch up and I've seen
An owl?
Yeah.
Maybe the youngsters may be calling for their parents, perhaps. So your barn owls actually make more of a screech type of noise. Alby, come here, buddy. So at night time, if you guys hear a little bit of a shh, shh, like that, probably not the best impersonation, because I don't think Alby really understood what I was saying just then. But if you hear that at night time, you've definitely got a barn owl living there. And the reason these guys love to live around our homes, there we are, Alby, is because that's where their main food source is. So your barn owls in particular love to eat your rodents, and these are going to be your mice and your rats. Do you guys want to have a little bit of a guess how many mice Alby here or one of your barn owls could eat in a year?
One a day.
10?
10,000 more like.
Definitely more than 10, and definitely more than one a day, so more than 365. Any other guesses? Anyone?
1,000.
Yes, exactly right. So your owl, so your one single barn owl, can eat about 1,000 mice a year, equates to about 3 a night. Now if those 1,000 mice weren't gobbled up by that one single individual, they could very easily multiply to about 2.4 million mice in that same year. Just goes to show how important every single individual is for our ecosystem. Now, being mainly a rodent-eating species, do you guys want to have a little bit of a guess what one of their biggest threats are that they're facing at the moment might be? Could be your cats, definitely, particularly when these guys fly quite low to the ground.
What about bait?
Yes, exactly right. So a massive threat to your owls at the moment is second generation poisoning, and that is because it is caused by those rat baits that we go and put around our homes. Now the reason for this is because those rat baits are going to be your second generation rat baits, so that can be your rat sack and your talon. Very cheap to buy at the shops and very readily available as well. And what we do is go put them around our homes, and that mouse will come along, gob that little bit of bait up and go along with its night. Now these baits, how they work is they actually stay in that mouse or rat system. They can't actually be digested and often takes up to a week. Alby's going to poo, I do apologise. Nice.
Just showing all aspects of it.
Yeah, it's definitely good to get that on camera too. We haven't quite taught him manners yet, but he's probably getting room for more food, which I think he looks pretty... Good job, buddy. Now, did you guys hear anything when he flapped his wings? And that was a very, very short flight as well. But I'll see if you want to do it a little bit later. Now, with these poisons, when that mouse or rat does digest them, I did say that they don't actually break down, so they stay in that mouse or rat system, and it also often takes up to a week for them to pass away. Within that week, you've got your owls similar to Alby here, out there, searching for where their next meal is going to be. We'll see that sick and slow moving mouse, they'll grab it, they'll gobble it down, and now that poison is unfortunately in the system of that owl. And that is how that second generation poisoning does occur. It is a little bit of a grim topic, but one we're really passionate about spreading awareness here at Cape Raptor Centre. It's about 65% of all our owls that do come into care into our medical facility have actually been affected by these rodenticides. So we're seeing it's quite a big issue not only here at the park, but quite a big issue nationwide. And even though it's quite a big issue, it's definitely one we can all solve together. So instead of placing those second generation baits down, there are alternatives. So it might be like your traditional methods, like your kill traps and your live traps. If any of you guys are feeling really creative as well, you may even want to purchase or make your own owl boxes. And what you do, you make these owl boxes, then you go and place them nice and high in your trees, and then you can try and invite some of these guys to come and live around your homes. Because if you've got an owl or a couple of owls living in your backyards, you are of course set for life, because these guys are going to be your native rodent controllers. This is also the perfect time to be placing those boxes nice and high in your trees, because this is actually the time when your owls are out there searching for those hollows, those nest boxes to actually create the next generation in. We are going into breeding season, so really good time to be placing them around your homes. And then we also understand if you do need to put poisons down, we just ask that you reach for first generation baits. They differ from those second generation baits just because they're multi-dose baits. Good job, Alby's finally woken up. So these baits, how they work, the first generation baits, is that when you put them around your homes, that mouse or rat will have to have just a couple of doses of that poison to pass away. However, if they do digest that poison and an owl goes along and eats them straight afterwards, it actually does not affect the owl at all. The only thing to keep mindful of is just keep topping up your bait stations continuously and always put them in the bait stations, and then you should be able to get rid of your mice and your rats. These products are going to be called Jacuma and Racumin as well. Sometimes Rat Sack Natural is also found at the shops. Often they'll also have owl friendly written on them too. So if you guys want any more information about this, just ask Hillary in the shop. We've got some really good brochures talking about those poisons and a really good website if you guys are interested in creating those nest boxes as well. Alrighty, we're going to move back onto Alby here. So Alby, of course, being known as an owl, these guys are also called your birds of prey. Now, maybe another tricky question, but do you guys want to have a little bit of a guess what actually makes a bird of prey a bird of prey?
Claws, feet.
Yes, exactly right. So, Alby, good job, buddy. So, all your birds of prey are called birds of prey because they actually all hunt with their feet first. Alby here has a very powerful set of weaponry. Now, do you guys want to have a little bit of a guess what sort of grip power, strength he has in 1 foot? And we're talking about kilograms here. Any guesses? Anything? Yeah. 50, that's actually a good guess. So it's actually about double that. So in 1 foot alone, Alby here can exert about 100 kilos of grip down pressure strength.
How much can they lift?
That's a good question. Usually a general rule with birds of prey is probably half their body weight at least. Your owls are definitely very, very powerful with their grip strength. But it's a very general rule, about half their body weight. So Alby here is maybe around that 100, over 100 gram mark. So quite a lot, definitely. Anything he can kind of wrap his talons around, he'll be able to eat, definitely.
It's only mice they eat.
So your barn owls, they can eat a bit more than mice and rats. A lot of small marsupials, mammals, that sort of thing, their main diet. And then they eat occasionally like your insects, your lizards and that sort of thing as well. But barn owls are mainly those small mammals, definitely.
So they don't attack other birds?
So they could if they wanted to. Most likely in territorial disputes, Alby here could take down a bird of his own size and weight, given the opportunity. But in saying that, he does not eat the other birds. Maybe some of your other owls might, like your barking owls or even your boobuks, maybe eat smaller birds, but unlikely to be your barn owls. Yes. Now, last question for you guys. Does anyone want to have a little bit of a guess how far our owls can rotate their heads?
360.
360. Yeah, I get that quite often. So if Alby here rotates head 360, so all the way around, his head would definitely pop off his shoulders, which is not what we want. It is more than 180, so more than halfway.
270.
Yes, exactly right. So it is 270 degrees, so almost all the way around. That's why it quite often looks like it is. And the reason for that is because we took all of Alby's feathers away. You'll notice he's actually got a really nice long neck. And in the back of his neck, he's got about double the vertebrae compared to us. And that's why he's got that really good head rotation. If you guys have a bit of a look at Alby's eyes here, you guys would notice that Alby's eyes actually differ from ours. So his eyes just sit in his head like a tube. He's going to jump down. So they just sit in his head like a tube, so it goes all the way back. And that's why they need that really good head rotation. And what he's doing when we see him looking around, that's exactly the reason why. So he's just having a bit of a looking around, seeing what's going on around him. Now that's probably quite an overload of facts and information for your afternoon. I think we can all agree none of us would want to be a little mouse around one of these guys. Even though Alby here looks very cute and very cuddly, your barn owls and your other owls are very good and important predators for our ecosystems as well. Now before I pop Alby back and get the next birds out, which will be the black kites, did you guys have any other questions at all? I'll do my best to answer. Chill Alby. Any other questions at all? No? Wonderful. We will do more questions at the end. But what I'm going to do now is go pop Alby back in some more nice yummy treats. I think we can all agree he's done a very good job being there looking pretty for us, about 20 or so minutes. And then I'm going to let the next birds out, which will be the black kites. And they'll do a bit of a free fly for us. And then I'll be throwing fruit up in the air. You can watch them catch it. Hopefully they'll come out for us this afternoon. My co-worker, apparently they completely disappeared from my co-worker this morning, which was talking about birds and they were not there, so fingers crossed. All I ask, you guys have already been doing a wonderful job. Just stay nice and seated in your seats. I think we've got a school group coming along as well, so I'll let them know too. If they do see quite a lot of commotion, they just may not fly as well for us. And also sometimes they also like to fly quite close to your heads. I haven't lost any eyes yet, just don't want today to be the first day. Alright, thanks guys, I'll be one moment.